Hello, this is Erin with the Joy in Pens and Paper. You'll notice a new background. So I have been thinking about this for a bit and finally went ahead and ordered it, but I got a mat for my desk to see if a lighter background would make the colors a little bit more true. I don't know, maybe it'll look nicer. I know the desk that I use does have some scratches on it, so just trying to up my game a little bit. The underside is gray, and so there is a chance that I may flip it at some point. And I understand that white is a little risky because I am working often with ink, and this could get dirty. However, it is noted as being washable. Now the downside is I have a black dog, and now I can see all the black hairs, so it's fine. It's fine. There it is. Okay, so we are going to get into my weekly recap, and that is within my Hobonichi case, which is quite worn. It is dirty. It's okay. But I use a Hobonichi Cousin to do my memory keeping and journaling. So I'm going to flip to Monday, the 18th, because I already talked about Sunday. So on Monday, I had a student that I needed to observe his morning arrival. I do have a coffee here, and this coffee has Chobani pumpkin spice creamer. So I picked up a couple of those to get me through this initial fall, and I am sure once I make it through those two, I'll be all done with the pumpkin spice because I like it, don't love it, but it is, something that I do like to have. And I do have it on a heater that I'm working on getting situated. But it's a heater that the weight of the coffee cup turns it on, and you can hear click. Oh no, there, click, click, of turning on, turning off. Anyway, going back to my weekly recap. So I had to get out the door a little bit early to get to work early to see the student, got to see the student, saw what they were dealing with, and was able to make some recommendations. Then I had a student at the middle school who just walked up to me and handed me this heart-shaped Lego that they had put together with all red Legos, and just kind of said, here, that's for you, which I appreciate, but was happily surprised about. If you do hear a noise, we have, my husband's car is getting a tire rotation in our driveway. Fun little Tesla service that they offer. I'm very intrigued, but anyway, that's happening right now. So I was able to take that heart-shaped Lego. It's probably about this big, and it's now on my desk at work because I want to be able to remember that moment. But it was also a very rainy day on Monday, so my son's soccer practice was canceled, which he was thrilled about because all he wanted to do after having a very busy weekend was come home and relax. So that was really nice. And then my husband and I also wanted to have a relaxing evening and get to bed early after all of our fun last weekend. On Tuesday, I picked up some items that community members donated for my office. So I got home, dropped my son off, and then I went and ran around town. My really funny moment from Tuesday is one of the individuals that was making a donation, male, younger, maybe my age or younger, and on their Facebook page, it was noted that they lived in a city 45 minutes away. So I had reached out and said, do you live in my town or do you live in this city? He said, I live in your town. And so as I went over to pick up the rug, I texted a friend of mine that I share my location with and said, I'm going to this address to pick up a rug from somebody on Facebook Marketplace. If I go missing, he did it. I didn't go missing. I didn't get kidnapped. I didn't get murdered. But I do fully acknowledge and realize that I listened to way too many crime podcasts and watched way too many crime shows and documentaries. So I had that, and then I got home and I followed up on the kind of hotel debacle overcharging from my birthday weekend, where we had been, I had booked the hotel on my personal credit card. Well, that credit card got lost, and so I had a replacement. So the card number was different. So when we checked in, I had to give them the new card, which was not the card that was used for booking. And obviously, when you stay at a hotel, they do an incidental charge as like a placeholder to make sure that they can actually do a charge on your card. And when we got home, I saw that they had 2 incidental charges for the same amount, 2 $50 charges. And so I watched it for a couple of days, and it ended up processing and going through. So I called the hotel and explained that to them. They said, oh, well, we don't know why, but we'll issue you a refund. Here's your claim number, or here's your case number. So I gave them, I know sometimes claims can take some business days, so I gave them a couple of weeks. Really, I gave them about 3 weeks, and I wasn't refunded. So I called back, and that person that I spoke to on Tuesday explained to me that it was a fee for bringing our dog. And so I explained to them that that fee was not disclosed. And had I known it was going to cost $100 to have the dog there, I would have made alternative plans. I would have had the dog stay at a neighbor's house and saved $100. That is silly. And so then they were trying to say, well, that's an issue with the third-party billing. And I said, no, it's not. I booked this through a third-party billing, yes, but I called the hotel the day before and said, I think I forgot to note, I see that you're dog friendly. I don't believe that I noted we were bringing a dog in the booking. Can I bring the dog? They said yes. At no point was it mentioned that there would be a $100 fee. The woman tried to argue with me a little bit more. I persisted and again stated, had I been told it would be $100 to bring a dog to a hotel 45 minutes from my house, I would have made alternatives plans. And then she kind of got snippy with me and said, would it make you happy if I just processed a refund? And I said yes, and she just hung up on me. So great job, Element Hotel. Not a fan of them right now, at least not the one that we stayed at. The one we stayed at in Katy, Texas was phenomenal. This one, not so much. But what I will say, and I heard this from my boss many, many years ago when I received some monetary compensation based on some quality assurance metrics, where the more things that were turned in on time in the right location, the higher the compensation I got. And I had to do some follow-up on a couple of things that were completed, but that the quality assurance auditors missed. And it ended up being the difference of like $1,300. And I remember my boss saying, how much time did you spend on that? Was it worth $1,300? And of course the answer was yes. So how much time did I spend on this Element Hotel ordeal? Was it worth $100? Yes, it was. I'm happy to make those phone calls. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday, my son had his 6th grade open house, and it was really nice for my husband and I, who both work in education, to be on the parent side and go to this event that we didn't have to coordinate, and just kind of see the parent perspective. So that was really nice. So we had that in the evening. Prior to that, I did a full day training at work for a de-escalation strategy and restraint control technique strategy. It's the first of 2 days. The second will be this coming Wednesday. And then I brought my son home, and my husband stayed at work, and he worked up until he had to be at open house. And so I got my son settled, made him dinner, got all that all set. And then I went to the restaurant that my friend works at and got a hot dog, which is kind of becoming my Wednesday routine. I didn't have time for wine because I literally had 15-20 minutes. So I had texted her ahead of time and said, I'm on my way. I just want a hot dog. So when I got in, when she saw me, she immediately put the order in. And so within like 2 minutes, I had a hot dog in front of me. I am one of those weirdos that I really do like hot dogs, and they serve it with some chopped onions, which I don't know, it just is delicious to have your fork with a piece of hot dog and some chopped onions on it. Highly recommend. And then after we got home from open house at 8:30, I did a Peloton ride because I had missed the morning ride. Oh, and I missed the morning ride because I was supposed to take my friend into Boston to the airport to pick up her puppy that came from Utah, but the flight kept getting delayed, and it was looking like I was not going to be able to drive her in and then get back in time to get my son and bring him to school because my husband had a medical appointment, so he couldn't bring him to school. It was all these moving pieces. So I had already planned with my workout ladies that I wasn't going to do the morning workout, and because I was up checking flight times and such, I allowed myself to sleep in until 6. So I didn't do my workout in the morning. And then Thursday, I had a board meeting for the board. I am a board of director. So we had a quarterly meeting. We had that and ended kind of awkwardly. Wasn't a fan of that. But then after, I actually had to take the board meeting on the go and switch from my computer over to my phone because my husband took my son to soccer practice. I went to the restaurant because we sneak in a little dinner date on Thursday. And so he takes him to practice. I go to the restaurant, I order our food. And that way, when he gets there, the food is basically arriving for us to eat. And we're able to have a meal together out before we have to pick up my son. My son's practice is only an hour, so we're doing all of this in a very short period of time. And as that evening went on, I started to feel under the weather. I started to feel really run down and runny nose and, all that. And my son had been a little under the weather last weekend and earlier in the week. So I think I got what he had. Then Friday, the refund from Element came through. So that ended up being $100 back into my birthday budget. And so what I did is I took that $100 and I purchased some perfume from Lily Bermuda. It's my favorite perfume. The last time I got a bottle of it was 10 years ago when my husband and I, for our 5-year anniversary, went on a cruise to Bermuda, and we went to the perfumery, and I loved this one scent so much. And I didn't buy a bottle. I just tried. I smelled all the scents. I sprayed on one that really, to me, smelled absolutely delicious. And as it sat on my skin and kind of blended in with my pheromones, I loved it more and more and more. And that's all I talked about for the rest of that day, all that night. The next morning I woke up and was kind of still smelling it on myself and talking about it. And so my husband, so sweet, he went to the duty-free shop on the boat and purchased a bottle of this perfume and had the concierge or whatever deliver it to our room as an anniversary gift. And so I have been parsing out this perfume and kind of, I will own after 10 years, it probably doesn't smell the same, but I still love the scent of it. So I finally purchased another bottle. But the really cool thing is with Lily Bermuda is when you purchase, they give you the option to get 2 penny samples. I don't know what size they are, but for 2 cents, I was able to add on 2 cents. Sorry, I'm internally giggling about that. To try out. So I've got 2 penny samples coming, which I'm excited about. When my husband and I got home, and we carpooled on Friday, so we got home the same time. We had, I think it was an old fashioned, might have just been bourbon though, and a cigar on the deck, and just kind of did a catch up for the week, which was really nice. And I had a phone call that was emotionally challenging. And I was on the fence about, my friends had invited me to the restaurant that my friend works at because they were having live music. And so they were talking about that for a couple days. I was on the fence, but I just decided, you know what, I need a reset. I need something besides sitting and thinking about this phone call that I just had. So I went and met up with my friends and had a glass of wine, listened to some music. The restaurant closes at 9. And so everyone was gone by 9 except for obviously the people that work there and myself and my friend / my friend's husband. And so I ended up helping the restaurant roll silverware to prep for the next day. And, was home just a little bit after 9:30. I went to bed right after that because I was at that point pretty exhausted. Saturday, woke up with a stuffy nose. So Friday, as the day went on, I started to feel a little icky, but Saturday woke up feeling a little icky. And I also want to point out, I did something a little bit different with this spread. I had the Platinum 3776, which is inked up with Wearing Gold Mad Hatter, and the new Euphoria Iced Caramel Latte, which is inked up with Colorverse Coffee Break. Both of these were very close to being empty, and I didn't think I could get a full 2-page spread out of either of them. So I had this idea that I would do 1 page for each and reverse the kind of accent colors here. I actually like how this turned out. I like it a lot. So, so Saturday, I woke up with a stuffy nose. My son had a soccer game, which they ended up tying. Yay. Their first half, they really were not playing as cohesively as they did last season. They do have some new players on the team. They have some players that left and went to a different team because they built up their skills, so they went up a level. Very excited for them. And it was the first game that I've been able to see this season because the first game was delayed due to weather or canceled due to weather. And last week I was on my girls' weekend. So the first half I was a little worried, but then the second half they really pulled it together. So on the end of the second half, our team had 2 different shots on goal that were phenomenal shots. And if it wasn't for the other team's goalie being so skilled, they would have made those goals. So yeah, ended up being a good game. On the way there, it was a really cloudy day. It was kind of misty, raining, and a little on the cool side. So my husband and I both wanted a hot coffee to sit and watch the game with. But the Starbucks that we would the coffee shop, the town coffee shop that we like to go to closes at 1. The game, we had to be there at 2, so that timing just didn't work out. The Starbucks in town was not accepting mobile orders, and we were nervous about potentially having to wait in a line. And so we have a Target that has a Starbucks in it, which we were going to drive right by, so we went there. And I walk in, I'm third in line, and there's one person going on his break. The manager comes out from the back room, sends another person on their break, and so they're left with one other barista working there who is cleaning and not taking any orders and cleaning. And while I appreciate that they're cleaning, I stood in line for about 7 minutes before she took the first order. And meanwhile, I'm watching the time tick by and realizing we only had about a 10-minute window to get these coffees. So I texted my husband and said, I think we need to bail. And so we ended up with no coffee. And then we had some friends come later on Saturday night when their kids were done with their sporting events and such. So they arrived a little bit after 7. And so the kids got to hang out for a little bit. The adults, we played some cribbage, and then got the kids tucked in at 9. My friend and I watched The Office. The men watched, I think it was Notre Dame was playing, not sure. But they watched sports, and then we were all in bed at an early, decent time because the next day the men had a 10K to run, and they were going to stay through the Patriots game on Sunday. So Sunday for me was kind of a really up and down day. It was very fascinating to reflect back and realize that. But I woke up and I put bacon in the oven. I made some eggs. My husband made some sausage. I put together some, toast and butter, like a very basic breakfast, but there's a lot of, between the two families, there's a lot of allergies. I'm gluten-free. The other family has nut allergies, dairy allergies, gluten allergies. And so cooking for all of that can be a little challenging. So bacon and sausage are easy, eggs are easy, and then I did have gluten-free toast and regular toast. So we had a nice breakfast. The men went to run their 10K. My friend and I did our puzzle, or we worked on a puzzle, and it was the puzzle she had made for me for my 40th birthday. So she helped me put it together. When the men got back, it was time for lunch, and then we put together a fancy charcuterie board and watched football. We worked on the puzzle some more. And then after they left, I did a workout with my lady group and kind of relaxed for the rest of the day. I still had the challenging phone call that happened on Friday. There were some residual things that happened Sunday, and which was part of why things were a little up and down. So being very transparent, all I really wanted to do last night was go to bed and get to today. So I did at one point yesterday put my phone on Do Not Disturb so that I got no alerts for anything because I just needed that disconnect. Oh, I forgot to put my ribbon in. And then today I have a lovely self-care day to look forward to, which I will be talking about next week. So, and today it is Monday. I have the day off of work, so that's where I'm able to get this done. So I did pick out some stickers for today. Most of them are from Coffee Monsters Co. There's a couple from Rose Colored Days. There's a couple from Once More with Love. And I think that's it. Oh, and then cloth and paper. These circles are cloth and paper. All right. So let's see, Monday. So Monday I'm going to put, which one was I thinking about for this one? I'm going to put this little guy right here. My little onesie with a laptop and a coffee because I did some paperwork things on Monday morning, which was really nice. I did go a little bit on a pink theme this week. The emojis that I had that had different colors, and I was able to select a color. If pink was available, I did pick pink. That happened a little bit naturally. I think it was the football emoji. Or no, sorry, this paperclip emoji happened first, and then the football, and then this little laptop. So that's kind of how that happened. On Tuesday, the sticker I wanted to add for Tuesday had to do with wine because it was kind of a busier day at work. But I'm finding a lot of the work icons that I have to do with being frantic or crazy or overwhelmed or stressed out or all these kind of really negative things, and I'm not feeling that way towards work right now. So as much as I wanted to work through a lot of my stickers before doing another Coffee Monsters coat order, I actually might be doing that sooner than later to get some happy work stickers, because I think that's where I'm at right now. All right, safety care on Wednesday. I did select out this one, speaking of, chaotic emoji, because when I started my work day, I realized the paperwork pieces for safety care, there was no coordination or collaboration on whether those were already printed out. So I went into work, went right to my office, hit print on a bunch of things, and then I had to stand by the printer for a while waiting for, and I'm not even kidding, but like 900 pages worth of stuff to print out. So I was prepared for this training, but the good thing is now I've done all this work, so we not only were set for this training, but we're set for the next training, which is great. So that's what I picked out for Wednesday. And then I'm going to put this little kind of winning munchkin from Once More with Love. I believe she calls them munchkins versus Helen calls them emotis, because the running around with getting my son dinner, getting to Anthony's, going to the open house, getting home and cycling, and doing all of my journaling and everything else, like that was a very busy evening, but I think I nailed it. Let's see. Thursday, I'm going to put this emoji here because I had a lovely cup of tea. No, I think I can move it over just a smidge. I had a lovely cup of tea while on my virtual board of director meeting. There we go. Okay. So I thought that was appropriate here. Friday, I'm just going to put this confused emoji for my challenging phone call that I had. Oh, and I'm going to add in this gold foiled coffee cup, because on Friday mornings we get a coffee from a local coffee shop. All right, and then Saturday I'm definitely going to put this little soccer munchkin, and I can tell the difference between munchkins based on the lining. So the actually, you know what, I'm going to stop. That might be Coffee Monsters Co. I'll have to double check that. I need to get a different card because we weren't playing Uno, but we were playing cribbage, so I'm going to put that there. And I do like to, whoops. Oh, see, now I'm making a mess here. Okay. Oh, and I'm going to add in an early bird for Monday because I was there early. Okay. I'm going to put a coffee cup for Saturday, and then for Sunday, I'm adding in this kind of more relaxed coffee cup because my friend and I sipped on coffee all morning. We watched I Am a Killer. We watched some trashy Ultimatum on Netflix, which is a hot mess, but we watched it. And then I had football right there. Now I was thinking about adding in my Michael Scott. You know what? I'm going to put it because I got The Office emojis and then I never used them. So I am going to put that because I watched The Office on Saturday with my friend. And let's see, is there anything else? that I want to mark off. Well, I did unplug, so I am going to add that. And I did go to the grocery store, so I am going to add that. And I'm just going to mark that I got together with some friends I saw my friend Wednesday when I went to see her at work, and I got together with some of those same people on Friday. I love these littles, but they're really difficult. Okay, difficult to place at times. And anything, just go ahead and put this little push pin here because I got a lot done that day. All right, so that is my week, and just as a quick setup, I'm going to grab my Noveler Nautilus Voyage in Tromsø, or Northern Lights, and this is inked up with Birmingham Pen Company Armadillo. I'm second guessing myself. I'm pretty sure it's Armadillo. Yes, okay. And this is with BPC. Oh, and this is in a bind. BPC Armadillo. And I've stopped noting my weight because it's frustrating me. It is not making me proud. And I will start tracking it again when it brings me joy. Until then, I will be working on channeling my energy into continuing my workout plans and making healthy choices. For example, my friend that came to visit brought me some gluten-free mozzarella sticks, and I kept wanting to cook some up last night, but I didn't need them. I'd already eaten. It was unnecessary, and so I was able to do some self-talk about that and refrain from eating unnecessary food. So yeah, that's what I mean by making healthy choices. Not that I'm starving myself. I am a very healthy, or I am an eater. It's just a matter of, am I putting good productive calories in my body versus kind of feeding my feelings or just eating because I like the taste of it. So I've got some habits that I need to shift right now. I was rewarding myself with cookie dough balls, gluten-free cookie dough balls. Not an excellent reward. I can find something different than that. So that's what I'm doing. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my weekly recap. Feel free to leave me some comments, or if you're not already subscribed, take a moment and subscribe so that you're alerted next time I post a video. All right, bye.